What's up, everybody? I'm Nova coming at you with another one. I've been away for a while. Work has been incredibly crazy, and well, I'm back anyway. Having a look at Tesla, just looking at the weekly, we can see that we have a resistance bar, 840 to about 888, and we broke this resistance point here. We went below, so I may actually change the EMAs. I do like the 20 and the 50, but I'm noticing long term, put this on your notebooks to research. The 21 week average is usually a place of support. Let me just reduce all of this, get rid of all of that. I want to clean it all up. And that, and that. The 111 I'm going to hold on to for a sec. Get rid of shapes. And there. So this says the 20 and the 50. However, I went into coding and well, I'll show you what I do. I just go into coding here and we'll look at our EMAs. So I'm going to make this one the 21. Next one is a 34, both of which are Fibonacci numbers, right? So save. And that will reposition. And then I got to turn this all off again, of course. Get rid of that. And the reason why I selected those, the 21 and the 34 is a fib, they're fib numbers. And of course, I won't say that here because I didn't change that, but trust in the fact. Normally we see support of the 21. We never really came and touched it. So when it did dump, it headed straight for the 34 weekly. The 34 weekly is a good number to look at if we do break down there. So we can see that this channel was taken up. We found support on it 1, 2, almost 3. There's 4. And then we came back up, and lo and behold, we found a wick right at the 21. So it could be, the next following week may see another wick down here, but I have a feeling this is our tangent that we're going to be looking at as we consolidate forward. And I'm only saying that based on this tangent and the fact that we had resistance right here, a bit of a sell-off there. So I think the build-up pressure will be maybe down one more week, and then we start testing to finish off this triangle. And then we've got this point here, which is the top of the triangle, at which we may get rejected first, right? Like so. And then we'll come up and start testing the upper level. So I think this is, looking like a bullish continuation. If we go to daily, this trend line of resistance, it's not exact. I could argue it's down here, or it could be up a little higher. But we do have the money flow index. Looks like there's a trend line forming here too, and we need to see if we're going to break it or if we're going to see further resistance. I'm thinking further resistance and a continuation down. So money exiting, looking for support down here again. Now, the continuation could be happening because we had this strong drop and then a bounce, right? So this is why I think next week might be a little flat until some time catches up to price, and then we see that continuation back up, and we have this channel that we'll have to start watching for. So I think this is where we're going to be. But But I think this will be our resistance until this trend line forces price back up. So that's the channel that we're looking at which point, once we build up enough pressure, we will be met by resistance, and then we will come back down and start testing this level for support instead of the resistance that we have, right? We're just about to start testing for support. This was looking like support, but we came back down and tested lower. So if we go like so, zoom in a little more. Like so. So there's our trend line of resistance. We tried to go up. That was selling pressure. This is where the agreements, where price is. Then there was an argument. And because we're green and we're an argument, we start flipping the other way. We went to bearish, but then the buying started happening here. So we're basically stuck between 700 and 745 as we get ready to push and break above this level. So I think, again, that argues that that is the direction that we'll be heading. So we will see hopefully a continuation. We need to stay above the 674, at which point, if we don't, I'd start getting a little worried because if we break that again, this could be very boring sideways running for Tesla, unless there's really good news. But Tesla's been on a stellar run, and the pullback had to happen. Looking at APO and MACD, we're kind of swimming the zero cross. I do like that we broke it. So remember how we always say the MACD will kind of head for the zero cross, and then it'll kind of fail a bit, wait, build up steam so that it can test. I would have expected it to turn just a little bit more, but it broke through and then turned, and now we're testing to see if we stay above the zero cross. And the more I stretch it out, the more I like that. The argument is we're at a price level and momentum that we're willing to agree on, and the continuation will soon be to the upside. We crossed the zero here, which is why we've got all these green bars as opposed to the weak selling red bars, right? So this is a good sign. We just need to finish off this quadrant here before we continue on the next leg. And that will happen once we break this here. Short term, a little bit of weakness here. We expected that because it sold and it went back into this zone of potential support. On the monthly with Japanese candles, same argument. We could almost move this down a little bit lower. So this is that's our pressure. This is where we're trying to test support. The month is showing a lot of selling pressure here. Again, that's that triangle that we're talking about. Not much else to say. I think to me, it's pretty obvious that we're within this range, and I think we'll see one more week of trying to sell. And if the bears take over, we'll come back down and we'll test. But I have a feeling the continuation to the upside is happening, and we just need to break that area. And the week of May 10th will be the turn. Let me look at a calendar. So yeah, maybe one more week of rest, and then Monday the 10th might be pushed to the upside. I don't know when earnings is or whatever, but it's been an amazing run. So yeah, it had to sell off. That rounding effect said we were coming down to find support, and it was either the 21 or the 34, which could be the 20 or the 50, but the 34 those wicks kind of say Tesla is one of those Fibonacci stocks that I guess fib traders are following. So hourly, what's hourly look like? Yeah, there's our resistance coming up. So I think next week we're going to come back down and test again. We're topping out here. We went down. We're topping out here. We went down. That was a weak top. Went down. Topped out here. We definitely went down. And you can see how money flow was just slowly working its way. It tried here. It was a lower high, so it continued down. Now we're in buy territory. These were signals stating get ready, a little ahead of the game. And then once the money flow and RSI broke back up, that's where we saw a bottom argument. These timelines are too small for me. I'll go back to the daily. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's not too noisy for you. So again, that's the heartbeat that we're seeing. A little bit of a heartbeat in between. Obviously, that was that zigzag. We came up, found resistance, came back down, found support, broke out. Now we finished, came down, found support, found resistance, found support. Now we're going to see if this will build up so that we can do our next zigzag back to the upside and break. So I'm repeating myself over and over again. I think you all see what I see. And these are all trend lines that, or areas that we need to break, right? So we break this, we're bullish. We break this, we're bullish. We break this, we're bullish. Then we start moving up, continuation. This may be here, continuation. And then here, again, continuation. So I'm going to argue that next week will be not the best for Tesla before we start having great weeks again. That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to close that off like so. And I think that is what we're looking at. That's Tesla. Trade safe.